Hey, what's going on? I'm Venya and I'm an English teacher, but most importantly, I've been a learner of English just like you in the past. And you're watching TOEFL 100 Plus, a channel where we learn all the tips, tricks, and strategies to take your TOEFL score to the next level. I've taken TOEFL 3 times before. Oh yes. For the first one, I did not prepare at all. For the second one, I also did not prepare at all, but it was years later. And then for the third one, I did prepare. So I have all kinds of experiences. First, when my English wasn't very good and I didn't prepare. Second, when my English was really good and I didn't prepare still. And third, where both sort of were in place. And my speaking scores were drastically different for all of those attempts. And I cracked the code on this last one for sure because I got perfect, 30 out of 30 on the speaking section. In this video, we're gonna break down the TOEFL speaking section. I'm gonna share some tips, tricks, and strategies with you that help me and will definitely help you. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about how this section is evaluated and what they're looking for so that you get the best score you can get. Whether you're just starting out, preparing for TOEFL and trying to push your score to the next level, or if you're already an experienced, seasoned TOEFL veteran. Either way, we're gonna work on the speaking section today, so get ready. The first thing that really helped me get that perfect score on the speaking section in TOEFL was I was not trying to improvise or really speak outside of what they were asking me for. And I used very streamlined, clear templates, which means all I have is the structure of every answer for every question type. And I just fill in the blanks with whatever they're asking me about, but the structure is very clear and it's always there. So the first question is always your independent speaking tasks, where they want to hear your ideas, opinions, or experiences. For example, some people who unexpectedly receive a large amount of money spend it on practical things while others spend it for pleasure only. Which do you think is better and why? You have 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to speak. You have to draw from your own experiences. Even if you don't do that, you have to pretend like you are. And you have to give a very structured and quick answer, but cover all of the important points and answer the question. Questions 2 through 4 are your integrated speaking tasks, which basically tests your ability to combine listening, reading, and speaking skills, similar to what you would do in like a classroom or any real life situation. For a more detailed breakdown of the speaking section, check out my video on this channel linked below in the description. Your speaking responses. All of your speaking responses are graded based on these 3 key components. The first one being your delivery, which means how clear and fluent your speech is, right? The next one, coming in at number 2, you have your language use, which the variety and accuracy of your vocabulary and grammar. And number 3 is your topic development, how well you organize and develop your ideas. These are not in the order of importance. They're just 3 equally important key components that go into grading this entire section. So if you look at these speaking rubrics, right? The first one, let's pull up the independent one, right? So score 4, general description. The response fulfills the demands of the task with at most minor lapses in completeness. See? It is highly intelligible and exhibits sustained, coherent discourse. A response at this level is characterized by all of the following. First, delivery, let's talk about that. Generally well-paced flow, fluid expression, so not choppy, super fast, big pause, super slow, super fast again. You want to make sure it flows like a river, right? Speech is clear, so speaking a little slower definitely helps with that. You want to taste every single sound. It may include minor lapses or minor difficulties with pronunciation. See, they allow that, or intonation patterns, which do not affect overall intelligibility. Language use. The response demonstrates effective use of grammar and vocabulary. It exhibits a fairly high degree of automaticity with good control of basic and complex structures as appropriate. See, don't try to use super crazy grammar for something that doesn't need it, basically. Some minor or systematic errors are noticeable but do not obscure meaning. So you can still make mistakes, but as long as what you're trying to say is clear and understandable, they don't care too much. Response is sustained, that's topic development. Response is sustained and sufficient to the task. It is generally well developed and coherent. Relationships between ideas are clear, or there is a clear progression of ideas. So all of those little linkers that you would use, I also have a video on that, On the other hand, therefore, to really structure your response, very, very well. Now for the integrated speaking rubric, it's pretty much the same thing, really. It's the same. So you want to make sure you hit all of those three, and you want to make sure you think about them, right, to get a high score. Now, which area of these do you think is the easiest to fix instantly? You're right, your topic development. That's where I started. Once again, when your topic development is scored, your response should be like this. Once again, response is sustained and sufficient for the task. It's generally well developed and coherent. Relationships between ideas are clear, or there's a clear progression of ideas. That means you need to follow a very clear structure and show how one idea leads to another, right? So templates here is going to be your secret weapon. I'm not talking about memorizing robotic answers. No. I'm talking about pre-structured outlines. It's just an outline. You have some things that you memorize that you use, but overall it's just an outline and your guide in organizing your ideas. A good template will ensure that your answer is clear, concise, and well organized, and it'll give you more time to focus on the content itself, right? Here's how they work. Allow me to give you an example of a couple of different questions you may get for independent speaking task. Question 1. So first you have your paired choice question. It's a very common style, and you just pick between two contrasting choices. For example, there are many different approaches to academic studies, and all of them have special benefits. Do you prefer to study for tests in a group or to study alone? Include details and examples to support your explanation. A or B, right? Or it could look something like this. Some people like to watch television news programs every day, while others like to watch them only now and then. Which do you prefer? Include details and examples to support your explanation. Again, A versus B. So here's an expression that you can start your answer with. If I had to choose, I would definitely opt for, and then you include your choice, A or B. And right here, right from the start, straight out of the gate, you're showing great command over grammar. You're using a conditional sentence as your introduction into the whole thing. Plus, instead of saying choose twice, you're using a synonym in the second half, opt for, which shows that you have great vocabulary as well. And it gives you an opportunity to paraphrase the task, which is also a great skill, right? So for example, do you prefer to study for tests in a group or to study alone? If I had to choose, I would definitely opt for studying by myself. See what I did there? The next one is agree or disagree. And just like the name suggests, you're given a statement, usually just a single sentence, and asked if you agree or disagree with it. And it looks like this. State whether you agree or disagree with the following statement. Then explain your reasons using specific details in your argument. Teachers should assign daily homework to students. Or children should help their parents with household chores as soon as they are old enough. So here is how I would structure my answer, right? Just remember the magic number. It's the TOEFL magic number, 2. Whenever you have some kind of point of view, some kind of term, example of something, you want to make sure you bring 2 supporting details, 2 reasons, 2 examples, 2 life stories, whatever the case may be. 2. So here's how I would do it. First, I would start with my main point, expressing my opinion. So I would say something like, personally, I believe that, blah, 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 blah. Then I give my first reason. And I would start with, first of all, blah, 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 reason 1. Then I would say, moreover, reason number 2. And then I would give a short, brief conclusion. With that being said, and I just basically paraphrase what I said in the very beginning. So to give you a very sloppy answer, unprepared, let's choose children should help their parents with household chores as soon as they're old enough. So my main point would be something like, personally, I believe that it's very important for kids to assist their parents with household chores and errands if they're able to. That's how I would start this. Then go into my first reason. First of all, I think it allows the children to gain this unbelievable appreciation for what their parents have to do on a daily basis to make sure the household runs smoothly. It creates discipline and whatever, right? Second reason, then I go, moreover, when the child is ready to move away from their parents' home and go to college in a different country or state or city, they already know how to do all of this basic survival stuff, including household chores, cleaning, cooking, and etc. I wouldn't say that probably. But see, I didn't take notes, I didn't prepare, I'm just freestyling right now. And for the conclusion, I would say, with that being said, I believe that every parent should allow their children an opportunity to help out or assist with household chores. All right, again, sloppy answer, but the structure is very clear. See, it's because I have this template. I have it and I just follow it. No matter what I fill in between, the structure is always there and it makes it very clear. Now, where can you get all of these tried and tested, high-scoring templates? Good question. How about you check out my online course, How to Score Over 100 on TOEFL Without Trying Too Hard. In this course, I give you all of the templates with expressions and question types, everything you need to know for the speaking section. All you need to do is just practice them and learn them, and your response is almost ready. But what else is in this course? Well, you get 23 lessons when you can learn at your own pace, anywhere, anytime. Plus, you get a 3-month access pass to this course, which is perfect prep timeline, in my opinion, for focused and effective studying. Everything is covered comprehensively. You get everything from just the test format to advanced strategies, down to just straight up dirty and disgusting tricks and deceptive strategies. I'm exaggerating, but am I? Plus, you get a lot of hands-on practice. You can apply everything you're learning right there. You doing all of the practical exercises that we include, you will get the right answers and find out while the others are wrong. It's perfect. If you want to understand the format better and tackle all these tasks in the most effective order, if you want to work on your vocabulary to make sure you can actually understand and pass TOEFL, if you want to master time management and do everything effectively and not be afraid of the timer running out, if you want to use quick prep strategies to make sure you're not wasting your life preparing for this as well, with my personalized approach and years of experience, not only as a teacher, but as a learner myself, you will be fully prepared to tackle TOEFL and achieve your desired score. Join us now by clicking the link down below in the description box and start your journey to success. And one more thing, with our standard package, you get a 1-month access pass to our TOEFL speaking club. And with the pro package, you get a personal consultation with me. Just check out the link in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you there. Now, the second thing after the structure of your answer that can help you succeed in the speaking task is, of course, improving your vocabulary and grammar, right? Working on your language use should be next. And the key to scoring here is to speak naturally while varying your sentence structure. Avoid relying on basic vocabulary and simple grammar. Basic vocabulary and basic grammar is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can, impress them every now and again, that's great, and you should be doing that. And some minor or systematic errors are noticeable, but do not obscure meaning, right? So it's okay to make mistakes, just they can't be too crazy, I guess. If you need help building your vocabulary, there's another video you can watch. I'm gonna link it down below as well. And if you want to check the level of the words that you use, like how, advanced or difficult they are, you can check out some websites. I'm going to link them down below. There's, textinspector.com. There's the Oxford Text Checker. There's a couple of different ones. I'm going to link them below. You can also use speech-to-text tools to transcribe your answer, then paste your text, and then just click Analyze. And then these tools will show you levels of your words from A1 to C2. So basically from, elementary to proficient, whether they are simple or complex. And in terms of grammar, like I said, don't overreach, don't overdo it. You want to use something fancy? Of course you do, of course. But not all the time, because it can hurt you too. Just use something super fancy once and you're good. Back to basics. It's completely fine. Just don't try to do too much. Don't do too little, but definitely don't do too much. And now the third thing is, of course, delivery. So if you want to get a high score in this rubric, you need generally well-paced flow, fluid expression, speech is clear, may include minor lapses or minor difficulties with pronunciation or intonation patterns, which do not affect overall intelligibility. This means you need to speak calmly in a cool and natural manner. The listener could understand almost everything you said, right? If you get a high score on that. So, because this is graded and scored by humans, Here's what they say. This is how a human rater determines your score for this particular criteria. They listen to your answer once or twice or 3 times and then give you a score from 1 to 4 based on how much effort it took to understand you. Now, it's totally okay to have an accent, but if your accent forces them to use extra effort to understand you, your score might go down. So you don't need to completely remove your accent. There's no need for that at all. Just make sure your speech is super clear and you can taste every single sound. Same for your rhythm and same for your intonation. So cadence and inflections, right? So the way ETS goes about it, the human rater does not count all of the mistakes you make. Not at all. They don't keep track of everything you say wrong. They just listen to the whole thing and give you a score based on how they feel. So here's what you want to think about. Pauses are okay, just not super frequent and not in unexpected places. Obviously, you pause between sections, you pause to take a breath, but try to make your speech very stable. Don't speed up, slow down, stop, speed up, right? No. Don't do it. It's a marathon, not a race. So make sure you're very your rhythm is very even. And in terms of intonation, just make sure you don't speak like a robot and make sure you speak like a real human being. If you're asking a rhetorical question, if I had to choose, which one would I choose? Right? Mean it. Say it like you mean it. If I had to choose, which one would I choose? Not like that, right? Don't speak like a robot. Be a real human being. And of course, pronunciation, make sure you're pronouncing all your vowels correctly. Make sure you are literally not emphasizing necessarily, but make sure you pronounce all of your sounds. If it's an ED ending of a verb, weighted, make sure it's weighted, right? Needed, make sure you say it. Now, again, don't overdo it, but also don't underdo it. So for that kind of stuff, shadowing techniques are really good when you listen to someone and then repeat after them, trying to mimic exactly how they do it. A lot of different speech-to-text services and apps are great to check your pronunciation because you can see how well the machine understood you. But don't stress this part too much, right? It's important, but again, the way your answer is structured is more important. Now, the next part of this is, of course, note-taking, because they do give you that time to prepare, and in that time, you should take notes of what you're gonna say. If you have your notes and you know what you're about to say, you're literally bulletproof. There's nothing that can bring you down. So improve your listening skills and note-taking. You need to practice active listening by focusing on identifying keywords, supporting details, and speaker intent as well based on their tone. You can use podcasts, news reports, lectures, audiobooks. While listening, you should develop an efficient note-taking system. You don't want to, when you take notes, you don't want to write out the words. You're just going to waste time. Just do code, short notes. For example, when I take notes, I don't write sleep. I write ZZ. I don't say student, I say S. I don't say teacher, I say T, right? Stuff like that. Stuff that you really understand, your own personal code. Also, using symbols in your notes is really cool. Increase, just arrow up. Decrease, arrow down. Something leads to something, arrow, you know what I mean? And of course, the most important thing, practice. And do it consistently. Watch videos, of course, that's helpful, but real improvement comes from actively practicing. So practice with a timer. Make sure that time doesn't hurt you. You want to develop almost like a habit for yourself. This is the type of question I can answer in 45 seconds. Easy, because I've done it hundreds of times. You know what I mean? You will be more confident the more you do it. So don't take that away from yourself. Practice consistently, practice a lot. You'll be confident. You'll be a little nervous when you take the test, but imagine how nervous you would be if you didn't practice or prepare. Very nervous. I've been there. Trust me, not fun. So make sure you definitely practice with a timer for the prep time and the speaking time. You don't want to go overtime. You don't want to be too short either, so that there's like 5 seconds of silence. You want to be just right. Record yourself when you practice those answers and just listen and analyze. Try to find your mistakes and identify them. Check with the grading rubrics and see how you would score yourself based on those. And below the video, underneath you will find the checklist. And for fans of AI, you can experience realistic TOEFL exam simulations, track your progress over time, gain confidence, and improve your score with these services right here. I will link them down below as well, but they're also on the screen right now. So take a screenshot, take a picture, make sure I look good. Just kidding. Improving your TOEFL speaking score takes time and dedication, but it is absolutely achievable. You can definitely do it. Just focus on your weak areas, practice consistently, and work smart, not hard. If you have those templates, you already won. Because you're not forced to go outside of that outline and reach for stuff, and then you can't find it, and then you panic, and then it's a mess, and then, oh no, the timer ran out. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're solid and secure with your answers, and you can just actually focus on delivering a good answer and clear speech. In the description box down below, you'll find all of the helpful links that I mentioned throughout the video, including the scoring rubrics, additional resources, my videos that I mentioned, and of course, my course. I really hope to see you there, so sign up and let's have fun together and let's ace this thing and, not worry about it again. Yeah, my job here is to make sure you don't need me ever again. So it's sad, but let's do it, I guess. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Venya, and you're watching TOEFL 100 Plus. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and click the notification bell because you don't want to miss new videos. Also, give this video a quick thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment down below, please. What do you want to see next? I really want to know. Let me know, and I'll do it. All right, thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.